The NBA hardwood has been graced by the best shooters to ever be born. From the likes of Stephen Curry, Steve Nash, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, and various others, these elite shooters have exemplified the art form of shooting the rock. So I asked myself a question. What are the greatest individual seasons from behind the arc? Do we consider percentage? Do we incorporate volume? Or is there a happy medium? Well, first and foremost, we need to figure out what seasons would even qualify for this prestigious top 10 three-point shooting seasons of all time. I looked up the top 20 seasons based on three-point field goal percentage. I also looked up the top 20 seasons for three-point field goals made. In today's day and age, these lists are totally unmatched due to the sheer volume of three-point shots in the current NBA. The earliest date in the top 10 for three-point field goals made is Stephen Curry's 2015 to 2016 MVP season when he sank 402 three-point field goals, the most all-time in a single season. I created a rudimentary weighted system for determining the rankings. 0 to 1 three-point field goal made per game would be multiplied by 1 to 1.05. So for example, if someone made 1 three-point field goal per game, their three-point field goal percentage will be multiplied by 1.05. If they made 0.5 three-point field goals per game, their percentage will be multiplied by 1.025. The following are the remaining multiplicative factors. My system may be refined later, but this was a good way to combine volume and efficiency in a simple way. Let's take for example James Harden's 2019 to 2020 season. He shot 35.5% from three-point land and hit 4.4 threes per game. This would relate to a 1.22 multiplicative factor, which would put his overall score at .4331. Not a great score given the fact there have been many seasons where the shooter's unadjusted score surpasses that by a long shot. So let's get started off with the honorable mention. We will get started off with a name that may surprise you due to his decreased volume, but we have Duncan Robinson. He achieved this masterclass of shooting in the 2019 to 2020 season. Duncan Robinson averaged 13.5 points per game in his first full season and arguably his best. He shot 44.6% from behind the line and made 3.7 threes per game. This gives him an overall score of .5241. Next on our list of sharpshooters is none other than five-time NBA champion Steve Kerr. Kerr achieved a place on our list by shooting 50.69% from behind the line during the 1989 to 1990 campaign. This was Kerr's second season in the league when he played for the Cleveland Cavaliers. With his 0.9 three-point field goals made per game, this lands him at a 0.5297 score. An unlikely addition to the honorable mentions, one in which didn't have the volume nor the three-point percentage, is ISO Joe Johnson. In his last season in Phoenix, ISO Joe averaged 17.1 points per game, providing his team with much-needed scoring and efficiency. This was displayed no better than his prowess from deep. Johnson shot 47.84% from three-point range and made 2.2 per game. This yields the 13th best score of 0.5310. Up next is someone who we couldn't comprise this list without. A splash brother, the babyface assassin, Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry is the greatest shooter of his generation, and many argue the greatest shooter of all time. It's hard to disagree with that statement just based purely off its volume alone. But to go along with its massive volume, he is one of the most efficient three-point shooters in NBA history. During his 2020 to 2021 season, Curry shot 42.1% from three, while making the most three-point field goals per game at 5.3. This is the highest average in the history of the league. This gives him a score of 0.5326. A name that many don't know of, and one who had a shorter career, goes by the name of John Sundvold. In the 1988 to 1989 season, Sundvold scored 10.4 points per game in only 19.7 minutes of play. He didn't shoot too many threes throughout the season, only dialing up 92 the entire time. He did shoot 52.17%, however, and made 0.7 per game. Although the volume was the lowest on our list and pales in comparison to the modern NBA figures, he has reserved the spot on our list for going the whole season as being only one of 8 players ever to hold onto a 50% or more three-point percentage for the entire season. Sundvold receives a score of 0.5400. Now, here we are, the top 10 most deadly three-point shooting seasons in NBA history. The three-point shot is a tool that can win and lose you games. With these three-point snipers, you would most likely see yourself on the winning side of things. So coming in at number 10, we have Detlef Schrempf. Detlef Schrempf had career totals of 13.9 points, 6.2 rebounds, and 3.4 assists over his 16-year career that spanned the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. His career three-point percentage was 38.4%, which is good for 125th all-time. Detlef Schrempf was a versatile and skilled forward, known for his smooth, all-around game during his NBA career. Standing at 6'10", he combined size with excellent shooting touch, making him a reliable scorer from mid-range and beyond the arc, a rarity for his era. A two-time Sixth Man of the Year, Schrempf was an intelligent player with strong passing ability, allowing him to facilitate offense from the forward position. He moved well without the ball, had a solid post game, and was a capable rebounder. While not an elite athlete, his high basketball IQ, fundamental soundness, and adaptability made him a valuable contributor for teams like the Pacers, Supersonics, and Trailblazers. His European-influenced style foreshadowed the modern stretch four role. During the 1994 to 1995 season, Detlef shot 51.38% from three-point land and made 1.1 per game. This gives him a score of 0.5421. At number 9, we have the chef himself, Stephen Curry. Not the first and not the last time on this list, Curry revolutionized basketball with his unparalleled shooting, combining limitless range, lightning quick release, and unmatched accuracy to become the greatest shooter in NBA history. His off-ball movement is relentless, using screens and sharp cuts to create open looks, while his elite ball handling allows him to break down defenders and pull up from anywhere. Curry's playmaking and court vision make him a constant dual threat, as defenses must respect both his scoring and passing. Despite his slight frame, he's a crafty finisher around the rim, using creative angles and floaters to compensate for his lack of size. His gravity warps entire defensive schemes, creating opportunities for teammates. A two-time MVP and four-time champion, Curry's electrifying style has redefined modern basketball, prioritizing skill, spacing, and perimeter dominance. During the 2018 to 2019 season, Curry shot 43.7% from long range, and I mean long range, while making 5.1 threes per game. This gives him an impressive score of 0.5484. Coming up in 8th place is the Duke native Luke Kennard. Kennard is third all-time in three-point field goal percentage and is number 1 for active players. Luke Kennard is a sharpshooting wing whose elite three-point shooting and smooth offensive game make him a valuable floor spacer. With a quick, high-release jumper, he excels as a catch-and-shoot threat, but can also create off the dribble with crafty footwork and a reliable mid-range pull-up. A smart passer with underrated playmaking ability, Kennard moves well without the ball, leveraging screens to find open looks. While not an explosive athlete, he compensates with high basketball IQ, efficient shot selection, and the ability to stretch defenses. Defensively, he's solid, but not a lockdown defender, relying more on positioning than physicality. Whether as a starter or a bench scorer, Kennard's shooting gravity and offensive polish make him a consistent offensive weapon. In the 2022 to 2023 season, Kennard finished the year off just below 50% at 49.44% from three. He made 2.3 per game, which gives him a score of 0.5513. The second time popping up on this list, we have Steve Kerr. Known more for his coaching of the Golden State Warriors and 4 NBA championships alongside Curry, Green, and Thompson, Kerr was not too shabby of a shooter himself. Steve Kerr is the only player in NBA history to have more than one season of shooting over 50% from three during a season, and he achieved this feat 3 separate times. Steve Kerr was the quintessential role player, known for his elite three-point shooting, high basketball IQ, and clutch postseason performances. Despite limited athleticism, he thrived as a spot-up specialist, leveraging his quick release and textbook shooting form to become one of the most efficient shooters in NBA history. A master of moving without the ball, Kerr excelled in motion offenses, using sharp cuts and screens to free himself up for open looks. His unselfishness, smart decision-making, and ability to space the floor made him a perfect fit alongside stars like Michael Jordan and Tim Duncan. Defensively, he relied on positioning and effort rather than physical tools. Kerr's championship pedigree, 5 rings as a player, and late-game composure cemented his legacy as one of the best role players ever. His playing style foreshadowed his future success as a coach, emphasizing ball movement, spacing, and three-point shooting. During the 1994 to 1995 season, Kerr shot 52.35% from deep and made 1.1 threes per game. This gives him a score of 0.5523. Sixth on our list, well, it's more of the same. Steve Kerr. This consistency and focus is the reasoning behind his bountiful success as a coach later in his career. During the very next season, 1995 to 1996, Kerr shot 51.48% from 3 while making 1.5 per game. This gives him a score of 0.5534. Now we start our top 5 deadliest three-point shooting seasons of all time. At number 5, we have the Long Beach, California native and UCLA Bruin, Jason Kapono. Jason Kapono was a pure three-point specialist whose game revolved around his elite catch-and-shoot ability. A 2-time NBA three-point contest champion in 2007 and 2008, Kapono had a quick, effortless release and thrived in systems that emphasized floor spacing. Though not an explosive athlete or dynamic creator, he excelled at moving without the ball, using screens to free himself for open looks from beyond the arc. His defensive limitations kept him in a defined role, but his shooting gravity forced defenders to stay glued to him, opening driving lanes for teammates. Kapono's career peaked as a reliable bench scorer, particularly during his Miami Heat tenure, where his shooting helped complement stars like Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal. In an era before the three-point boom, his specialized skill set made him a valuable but one-dimensional offensive weapon. During the 2006 to 2007 season, Jason Kapono shot 51.43% from 3 and made 1.6 per game. This leads him to an overall score of 0.5554. At number 4, we have the almighty Threesus, Machine Gun, Hot Sauce, and Splashton Kutcher, Kyle Korver. Kyle Korver was one of the NBA's most lethal three-point shooters, a master of off-ball movement and catch-and-shoot excellence. With a quick, high-release jumper and textbook form, he could stretch defenses to their breaking point, often sprinting off screens to lose defenders and drain contested threes. Though not an elite athlete or isolation scorer, his relentless hustle, sharp basketball IQ, and underrated passing made him a key offensive weapon. Defensively, he relied on positioning and effort, often battling bigger opponents with sheer determination. A one-time All-Star and record-setting shooter, Korver's gravity as a floor spacer helped revolutionize modern offenses, making him the prototypical 3-and-D wing before the term became mainstream. His career embodied the value of elite shooting, longevity, and adaptability. During the 2014 to 2015 season, Korver shot 49.22% from 3 while making 2.9 per game. This gives him an overall score of 0.5636. At number 3, we have another repeat. Kyle Korver receives 2 top 4 finishes. In his best three-point shooting percentage season and the highest mark in NBA history, Korver shot 53.64% from 3. That's a whole 1.3% higher than the next person on the leaderboard. When it comes to three-point percentage, combined with this high of a mark, it's unfathomable to be shooting that much higher than the next person all time. He had one of those shooting sprees that lasted an entire season. Unlikely to be broken anytime soon, Korver receives a score of 0.5659, just barely behind the top 2. At number 2, we have Tim Legler. Tim Legler was a quintessential sharpshooter whose game was defined by his lethal three-point accuracy and high basketball IQ. Known for his quick release and textbook shooting mechanics, he thrived as a catch-and-shoot specialist, often capitalizing on defenses that underestimated his range. Though not an explosive athlete, Legler compensated with smart off-ball movement, using precise cuts and screens to create open looks. A disciplined and efficient scorer, he led the NBA in three-point percentage in the 1995 to 1996 season, a record that stood for years. Defensively, he held his own with positioning and effort, fitting the mold of a reliable role player. Legler's brief but memorable peak, including a standout 1996 three-point contest win, showcased how elite shooting could carve out a niche in the league, foreshadowing the NBA's future emphasis on floor spacing specialists. During the aforementioned 1996 season, Legler made 1.7 threes per game, which puts his overall score at 0.5668. It's the moment you've all been waiting for, a number one spot on the list. Any guesses of who it could be? Well, it shouldn't be hard, so I'm not giving any more time. Here he is, number 30, Stephen Curry. During Curry's second NBA MVP season, he somehow made 402 three-pointers in the season, a mark that hasn't really been challenged even with the increased volume of three-pointers shot by all players in the modern NBA. The most surprising fact is that this season was the 73rd best three-point shooting season of all time based on percentages. So to go all the way from 73rd in the singular category to first in the hybrid category testifies to his greatness and uniqueness as an athlete. Stephen Curry could be a 50% three-point marksman any season he chooses, but the difficulty of his shots and the dependence his teammates have on him make this feat very difficult to accomplish. So during the 2015 to 2016 season, while shooting 45.4% from three and making an average of 5.1 per game, Curry rounds out our list with a score of .5698. As much as I have some issues with Curry's game, he is an amazing athlete and an even greater shooter. Curry does things on the court that seem impossible to be able to do as a mere mortal, but he does them with grace and elegance like none has seen before.